before the analysis, we can already have a look at the mesh. If we go to Tools, Calculation and Mesh, we can go to the Mesh Settings. And there we will find the setting for the average number of 1D mesh elements, which is by default 1, and the average size of 2D mesh elements. And by default, that's 1 meter. Now we advise to use a value of 1 until 1.5 times the thickness of your plate element as a starting value for the mesh. For now, I will just leave it to the default value. Go to Tools, and now we can generate the mesh, and then we can have a look how it is generated. If we right-click on the graphical scene, we can go to the View settings, and there we can turn on or off the mesh. So if the mesh is not visualized by default, you can there activate it. Now there are some possibilities to perform a mesh refinement. And if we go to the SCIA Spotlight and start typing mesh, we get those possibilities. And that are an edge mesh refinement, node refinement, and a surface refinement. So let us show them one by one. The edge mesh refinement, we can set a certain size and then select the edges of our plate. Confirm and escape. And now in yellow, you can see those line or edge refinements on that plate. And if we generate the mesh again, we can clearly see the refinements with the value that we defined. All right, so let us delete this one. We can select one, and in the property panel, we can right click and choose expand selection. And in that way, we can immediately delete all mesh refinements. If we go to the second type, that's the node mesh refinement. There we can play with a radius and a ratio. So I will take the radius a bit bigger to see the influence. And I will take this node on the top of that column. We can generate the mesh again. And now this sphere is a bit blocking the view. So we can go to the view settings. And there I can turn off the mesh refinement, and we see the influence of the mesh refinement. I will put it back on so I can delete it as well. And then I'll show you the surface mesh refinement. Again, we can set a size, and now I will assign it to this subregion of the plate. And if we generate the mesh again, we clearly see the influence of the surface mesh refinement as well.